Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, so this is Maxine Waters. She has really taken the cake this time. She is down there. Remember, she is an elected representative from the United States. Elected, right? She is down in Brooklyn Center, down in Minnesota. And she's with the usual suspects, the people from the usual organizations, far left, who do the usual things to people's homes and businesses, and then they do the usual things to like one person, even a woman or even a child walking down the street on their own. You've seen it, I've seen it, everyone's seen it. Now she's out there with them, telling them that they should do usual things, quote unquote, if Derrick Chauvin is found not guilty, if he's acquitted, if he's found not guilty. She's telling them to go out and do their usual things, okay? This is an elected member from the United States. She wouldn't be out of place in Zimbabwe or Rwanda, right? If she was the president's wife in some African republic where they chop people's hands off. She would fit right in. Doesn't it scare you that there's somebody who wants to do those type of things, but she's just keeping it under the surface? It's like an elephant in the room. You know what she is. We know what she is. She certainly knows what she is. But they keep up this strange pretense until they're in a strong enough position where they don't need to keep up the pretense anymore. So, and one more thing. Remember what they said about Donald Trump? Even though he said for people to peaceably assemble. Remember what the mainstream media said? They're completely quiet over this, of course. So let's get into this. Let's watch this. But if you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and share this video around. That will help us hopefully stay competitive with the large mainstream media corporations who lie to you and gaslight you. We are conservative commentators, that is, shadow banned and deranked. So to combat that, if you could share this around with the normies, your friends, family, and of course on social media. The buttons are down below. Okay, let's go.
I feel like nothing changes, and George Floyd is waking so many people up. Yet nothing has happened, despite the rhetoric. Like what needs to happen that's different this year than all the years before?
We're looking for a guilty verdict. We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the folk.
They're looking for a guilty verdict. Regardless of how Floyd died, whether it was a fentanyl overdose or whatnot, they're looking for a guilty verdict. We are coming to the African Republic is coming to you, United States. The African Republic of, you're found guilty depending on what the mob wants. Not what's right or wrong. Not what was true or false. Not what a jury of 12 of your peers says. The 12 peers will probably in the future be made up of members of the mob.
That took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd. If nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty.
So if they don't get guilty, they've got to stay in the street and fight for justice, whatever their idea of justice means. It usually seems to mean looting the latest Nikes or Adidas shoes from the shops. Quite what that has to do with George Floyd. Most of them never even knew, the vast majority had never even met him, never even heard of him, until they saw the selectively cut clip of what actually happened with George Floyd on mainstream media, and then their first thought was, right, I need a new pair of Nikes or Adidas or Jordans or whatever. This is her saying they need to stay in the street. And where's the mainstream media? Remember when Donald Trump asked people to peaceably assemble in the Capitol? And have you noticed how the left, they keep hyperventilating around about this new word, insurrection? Whenever they do anything and it results in thousands of people having their homes and businesses burnt out and people dying after they get trapped in stores that are set on fire. That happened in Minneapolis, by the way. That body still hasn't been identified. It was charred. It was completely burnt to a crisp. They don't know who it was. They just know that a person burnt alive in that auto shop in Minneapolis. Now, when they do that, they call it a peaceful protest. When 100 people who are Trump supporters walk into the Capitol, it's called an insurrection. It goes to show you what the left prioritize, what they worship. They worship the state. They are socialists. They are communists. They worship the state. When a state building has Trump supporters, right-wing people, populists going into it, that is an infirmia to them. This is the state building. This is their church, you see. Capitol buildings, state buildings, government buildings are their church. But when it comes to them looting, burning and destroying people's homes, small businesses, people's dreams, family businesses. Oh, well, that's just property. It's only property, man. What are you worried about? It's just property. Goes to show you what really matters to them is government and the worship of the state.
And if we don't, we cannot go away.
And not just manslaughter, right? I mean...
Oh, no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know.
So, this woman is clearly an idiot. That goes without saying. So she's saying, oh, no, not manslaughter. It has to be murder. Do you know what that charge is? Right, that it means you had to, with prejudice, with predetermination, you wanted to end the life of someone else, right? You set out to do that. Whatever Chauvin did, and listen, when I saw the clip of Derrick Chauvin on Floyd's neck, I was angry too. I remember I saved the clip. I saved the clip under pig. That's what I saved it under. The clip of Derrick Chauvin. Because I archive things. And I saved the clip under the name pig. Because I was angry, right? But then a while later, I watched the unedited clip. Well, it wasn't edited. The clip we all saw wasn't edited. It was cut. Not edited. It didn't have things stitched together. It was just cut. So you just saw the end. I watched the released. It was quietly, covertly released footage, the full footage, that was recorded on someone's mobile phone. So you were seeing it, the actual footage on a monitor through the mobile phone. And Floyd was asking to be laid down on the ground. He was saying he couldn't breathe when he was in the back of the car. He had something in his mouth that he was trying to swallow. And it opened my mind up a little bit. And then you listen to some of the things, not only from the defense, but also the prosecution, which on the prosecution's case was devastating to their own case. In that Chauvin was doing things they was trained to do. They were trained to sit on people in a certain way and things like that. Which, if they were, maybe that should change. Maybe it shouldn't. That's beyond my remit. I'm not really sure. That's not murder. But you see, she's blinded with hatred. If she could get her own way, Chauvin would be dragged into the streets. This is a representative from the United States. And she does. She does. She would want him dragged into the streets. And so do all of they. Who are the real bad people here? You know, the fingers get pointed constantly at people that look like me. Because they don't want the finger pointed at them, right? They don't like it. They don't like all of their skeletons in their closet being aired in public. They don't like what they are. So they point at us.
Whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens?
What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street. And we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
You've got to get more active. I'm phrasing her here. I'm quoting her. You've got to get more active. You've got to get more confrontational. You've got to let them, and who do you think they mean when they say them? know that we mean business. That's what she said. What do you think? Who do you think them are? Who do you think they are? That's ordinary people. That's us. It's people that look like you and me. That's... You know what amazes me is there's people that think she is going to do good things. There are people who live in her district that live in utter squalor. Out on the streets. Tents everywhere. Crime is sky high. Living expenses is sky high. Quality of life is low into the ground. Wages are low into the ground. Job prospects low into the ground. Training opportunities low into the ground. Migration is off the charts. You get this in every Democrat area. Instead of having things in the middle, like everything kind of a little bit good, and then this one's a little bit bad, in Democrat areas, both things go to the extremes immediately. The things that are good go to the worst extremes, and the things that are bad go to the top. And that's in New York, that's in Seattle, Portland, all of these big metropolitan lefty areas. It's not like conservative areas, where in conservative areas, everything's kind of in the middle. Everything's like, well, this is quite good, but that's a little bit bad. And then this is alright, and then that's not so alright. But then, as I say, in leftist areas, it just goes straight to the extremes. Just like the society you found in the movie The Hunger Games. That's what they want. They want a society like that, where the state is worshipped and the people live in squalor. Well, look, you heard it from herself. Imagine if Trump had said all this. Imagine if Trump was out there on the 6th of January, actually in the crowd. Imagine if the crowd had already set all these fires and looted all these stores like they have. And imagine if Trump said, and I'm quoting, in fact, let her quote herself. And imagine if Trump said this. So I'm not putting words in her mouth. She can say it herself. Okay, so here it is. Imagine if Donald Trump had said this, and he was in the crowd on January the 6th.
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
What do you think about this curfew to...
You've got to make sure that we know business. We've got to get more active. They've been active enough. Target's already been looted. What do you mean? They've already looted all of the Adidas stores and the Nike stores. How more active can they get? I don't think there's any... They've even looted the dollar stores. How more active can you and yours get? The Democrats. The looting party. It's a party of looting. Maxine Waters, the best politician, the most noble politician in all the world. Look at her, look. She looks like a horse. Anyway, look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. And the rest of it, I've completely forgotten what part I'm on. Subscribe to the channel. Didn't subscribe. Well, I'm going like Joe Biden now. Subscribe, notification, leave a comment, and share. There, I've got it all out. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.